Hey guys, it's Amber with Do My Own, and today I'm going to talk to you and show you how to use some of the various designs of pesticide bottles on the market. We're going to include the standard tip and pour as well as the squeeze and pour. We're going to start with the tip and pour because this is the more complicated one and the one that most customers tend to call and email us asking about. With this design, you're going to start out with the lids on the bottle. Now, most bottles are going to come with a seal underneath the lid, so you'll want to check for that first. With this particular bottle, we're using it as an example with water, so there's no seals on this one that we have to worry about, but we'll get to that when we move on to the squeeze and pour. As we start out, you can see that the bottle has, as most do, a measuring reservoir with lines that show you how much solution you may be looking to get for your particular label's needs. When you go to measure this, rather than tilting one direction or the other, you're going to rotate away from you and around to allow the solution to move from the main chamber of the bottle over into the measuring reservoir. Once you've got the correct amount of solution that you need for your label, then you can move on to adding it to your sprayer tank. Now, if you happen to get too much in your measuring reservoir for what you're needing, you want to tilt that bottle back to the left just slightly and allow some of that solution to move back into the tank. The same thing applies if you didn't get enough the first go around. You can tilt that bottle around again, add some more solution to the reservoir and get it right where you need. Once you've got the amount that you need for your sprayer, you're going to remove the lid from the measuring chamber side only. Now, instead of pouring to a hard angle into your sprayer, with these bottles it's best to go at a slight angle away from you. This is going to help make sure that only the solution in the measuring chamber is going into your tank and more of the solution from the main area of the bottle is not rolling up behind and having you measure more than you intended to. So we're going to go at a slight angle away. Get all that solution in there, and then now you're good to go. Now, if your particular label calls for more solution than what the measuring chamber provides, you can always put the lid back on and rotate the bottle again. If not, we're going to put the lid back on and securely store it. And you should be all set for the tip and pour application. Now we're going to move on to the squeeze and pour. With the squeeze and pour bottle, you want to make sure that you've removed both lids and checked for seals underneath them. I've gone ahead and removed the seals in this case. Some bottles will have a foil seal, some will have maybe more of a thick cardboard material. It varies from manufacturer and brand to brand, but you want to make sure that you check for that before you start. This is going to help to make sure that the airflow for the squeeze and pour is going to work correctly as it acts somewhat as a vacuum as you squeeze the bottle to push the chemical into the measuring chamber. Once you've got it ready and you've removed the seals, you can remove the lid from the measuring chamber side, and then you will slightly squeeze your bottle, and you'll notice that the solution is going to run from the bottom of the bottle here, up the straw, and into your measuring reservoir. We're going to do this gently. You don't want to squeeze too hard to have the chemical come out too quick. Once you get the solution to the level that you need, and you may have to do this a couple of times to get that flow going and get those air bubbles to release. So I had to push the bottle back a little bit, just like you might do with a average 2-liter bottle or anything like that. You want to get that airflow going. Then you can squeeze again and more of that solution will run up into your measuring reservoir. Once you get the amount you need, which in this case we're going to run to the 1/2 ounce line on this particular bottle, you can pour it directly into your spray tank. And you don't have to worry about any extra mess or anything rolling from the rest of the bottle into it since you're controlling that as you squeeze the bottle. Once you're done, you'll replace that lid back on the bottle and then fill your sprayer the rest of the way with water and continue with your treatment. If you have any questions, as always, you can contact our customer service staff. And if you like this video, be sure to head over to our channel, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and check out our other DIY and how-to videos. Thanks for watching.